What's up, man, and welcome to the second episode of Real Talk Junkies. I'm St. Mike.
J-Man.
And I'm Ducky.
So how long have you been married, Saint?
Oh, Christ. Christ, I've been married, I've been sober for 20 years. Nah, seriously.
Is that another...
I've been married for, this year, it'll be 9 years this year. 2014, yeah, been married for 9 years. Been with her for, 11 years, longest relationship I ever had. And I would say that it's been cool, man. I mean, just it's a lot different than just having multiple women night after night and just meaningless sex. And oh my God, how boring that got. And when you put the ring on, it was like one ring to rule them all. And it's been cool, man. I mean, I think the best part about it, you got someone at home that's worrying about you all the time.
Did you grow up thinking that you'll be married and have kids and live good, you know? Did you want to get married growing up? I mean, was that an ambition, a goal?
Oh no, man. No, it wasn't.
No, he's banging his roommates. He just told us.
When I was like, when I was snagging, I was like, oh, maybe this is the one. No, I never thought about, because I lived in my parents' basement till I was like 30, 31. You don't care about nothing. You're just, doing them and racking them up and but you don't really think about it. I mean, maybe will enter my mind once a week for 30 seconds. And why even consider it? It's just, I had to leave home to get married, and it was cool, What about y'all, man? What prompted you to marry your women?
Well, I grew up, I didn't have any ambition to get married or have kids, because I grew up actually outside the native community. I mean, the only Indians I really hung out with were like cousins in the neighborhood. But I had friends. I grew up in a predominantly Latino community, so the elementary I was going to was large population of Latinos. Same with high school. My girlfriends were Latinos, and then I got involved in a community here in Chicago. And long story short, met my wife through drum. She had took an interest in drum and songs and that culture, and it was interesting because we started as friends, and it was one of those situations that we were friends, and I'm sure she doesn't like me in that way, and it just kind of evolved, and she had a son. I guess as you get older, I guess you evolve, your thinking evolves, and the way you see life changes, and we started our relationship and had a kid, we had a son.
The kid.
And boom, life changes, and it's just, it's not that you're stuck or that you think you're obligated, or, it's just a natural progression into familyhood. So,
did you want to have kids when J-Man asked, did you fathom that idea?
No, it was interesting because the wife had a son, so our son Michael, he was it. I thought, okay, this is what I have as a family, and I wasn't even thinking about having more kids, and it happened, and like I said, it's just one of those things that life throws at you, a challenge. And so I took the challenge, and I thought I just need to grow up a little bit and learn how not to be selfish. It was really an interesting dynamic and evolution in how I got to that position, but it's something that changed me, obviously, and it created this new path, and I'm glad that it all happened that way.
Oh, where did you guys conceive?
Where was the kid?
Do you want to hear that story?
No. Well, I've heard it.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things that you only see in movies.
Shot
like Quest for Fire or Shot in Chicago. So how about you, brother? What you're like still,
Actually, wait, before you go there is a movie based on our life or
Caligula
conception. No.
The Matrix.
It's yet to be shot, or it's in production. It's called 50 Shades of Grey.
Shit. Sure. Oh, damn.
50 pubes in grey.
What about you, man? I mean, you're still like...
My ears are still wet back there, man. I've been with my old lady for, it's gonna be 5 years in December, and man, that's like you said, the longest relationship I have ever been in. I grew up in the city with a semi-Indian family. They were in marriage. That was a word that was not spoken in my house. It's a whole different story. But yeah, my parents, they were like, don't get married and don't bring home a Choctaw. That was the rule. And then, I was just like, I didn't care, probably like 8 years old. It's like, oh, okay, sure. But you know, having that like repeated to you over and over again, and then like you said, just the repeat, you know, multiple women every one night, and then you know you go and it's just, it doesn't appeal to you, and you don't want to do it. It never crossed my mind. I didn't have time for it. There were files in my mind. It was like marriage and family and responsibility that you know, that I can take a walk. When I found my significant others, it was magical. I don't know. It happened in such a weird way that I was lifted off the ground. And,
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, man, I feel like with the one I got now, the one, I lucked out, man, like I did. Like every time, you know, I look at her, I'm just like, damn. And then, you know, when I'm out alone, I try to act like I'm all big and bad, and every time I catch a glimpse of her, I'm just like,
See, that's cool. I mean, like for married men, there's 2 levels of damn. You know, like J-Man and myself and Doug, like we look at our wives and we say like, damn, like, oh, damn. You know, and then there's those other fools that look at their wives and are like, damn, God damn it,
damn it, oh.
damn, like Florida when she found out James died and or after James' funeral, good time, damn, you know, yeah, man, we lucked out. I mean, God, because look at us. I mean, I'm sexy as hell. I don't know about you guys, but you know, like we're damn lucky that we got the wives that we do. I mean, shit, they look out for us. They back us up when we're singing. You know, what more can you ask for?
So in the past, you've dated all these chicks. Do you ever think like what would happen like your first or second girlfriend, like if you got married to them? What's the hypothetical there?
Okay, going back to first girlfriends, like first time you're like, can you be my girlfriend? Okay.
No.
That or
Go back to the first stabbing you got.
Oh my lord. Okay.
That person.
I can't. I technically can't talk about that one.
Legal action is still in.
It's still pending. Okay.
5 minutes later. All right.
Wait, that just made me sound like a fucking perv. No, if it would have been, it would have been the reverse. And she was older and I was younger. Okay, let's see. Oh my God, would I have married her?
Should we come back?
No, let's talk. No, I would not have married. No, because remember Ferris Bueller? You know, he's gonna marry the first woman he lays, and she's gonna treat him like shit. No, the first girl that I.
So you didn't love her?
I didn't love anybody. Okay, here's the thing. My wife, like, when we talk, because we talk about past relationships and stuff, you know, she got mad at me because I told her, she's like, well, what kind of game did you used to run on you know, what did you used to say to these girls? You know, what kind of bullshit did you used to throw at them? You know, see, when a woman talks game, your game is bullshit. So what kind of bullshit you used to throw? And I would tell girls, like, okay, you know, we can kick it, right? But if you fall in love with me, that's your fault. All right, I'm making no promises. I make no guarantees because I know how to treat a woman really good. I was raised by a man who was raised by a man. So a lot of girls like the idea of being with a nice guy. I was a nice guy, and they wanted to.
So it could have never evolved to that level.
I couldn't allow myself to do that because back then I didn't want to be responsible for anybody's feelings.
Huh?
I didn't want to be responsible for anybody's feelings.
Huh?
I didn't want to be responsible for anybody's feelings.
Why?
Because back then I was selfish. I mean,
yeah, I get it.
I liked getting what I got, and then it's kind of what's that line in this song? Bob Seger. I used her, she used me, but neither one cared because we was getting our share. And
It's a good song.
yeah, that's a great song. And
That was my first dance song.
Horizontal or vertical?
No, I get you.
you, as we say in Oakland, you feel me? Do you? I'm asking. Do you got? Don't stare at me. Say something.
I do. I know it's. You're right. I think the key word is selfishness, and that's where I came from, man. I didn't. So prior to you getting married, you were never in love with all the female companions?
No.
Wow. So how did that happen? And then you got married. How did that happen?
Because I think I was mature enough to you know, I didn't have to sit at home anymore and I want to know what love is. No, okay, so this is real talk right here, because this is Real Talk Junkies, all right?
True.
So,
Preach.
Testify. What really impressed me about my wife was the fact that after we was dating for a while, we're sitting in the drive-thru at Dunkin' Donuts on Addison, and I was like, you know, I've been thinking about it, and you know, we're kind of getting too close, this relationship stuff, you know, I don't know, maybe it's not for me. My wife looks at me and she was like, so are you saying that you don't want to see me anymore? I said, I didn't say that. I'm just saying that maybe we should, like, you know, kind of dap it up, be friends. And I was indecisive, but I was leaning more towards, you know, I was grabbing my parachute and I was ready to tuck and roll. So then she says, okay, that's fine. Take your time to think about what you want. And she looks at me and she goes, but I'm not going to wait around for you.
Nice.
And at that point, I got out the car and I went to say bye, and she drove off. And I was standing on the corner when I used to live at your crib.
Were you crying?
Hell no, I don't know. I was standing there and like, you know, what's that term? You know, everybody got a plan till they get hit, and she hit me. So I was sitting there on the like, no, fuck that. No one runs. That's my shit. And I walked back in the house, and I remember I was sitting there, and I couldn't sleep because it just I guess my ego was bruised. Like I finally felt what that felt like. I met my match.
She made you cry.
She did not make me cry. No. So then she called me. She goes, she told me, she goes, I give you 1 week to think about it. A week went by and she calls me and she's like, I was like, hey, what's up? And before she even said, hey, how you doing? It's like, so are you my boyfriend or what?
Yes.
No, we're not talking about your thing. I was like, well, why don't you come over? We'll talk about it. So she comes like 10 minutes later. I think she's already outside the crib. So she comes up and she's like, so what's up? She's standing there and she's just, you know, giving me that, y'all know my wife, and you know, that look with that Mona Lisa smile, but those eyes that can like kill shit. And she asked me again, are you my man or what? And I threw in the towel. I gave in, and it's probably the best decision I ever made in a relationship. And you?
What?
Do you love her? Did you love her? When did you?
You talking about girlfriends of the past?
No, man, I'm talking about wives, man. Esposa. At what point did you know that you loved? Like, it was just pure. It was pure, the way a Christian holds the Bible pure. And
I don't know. I think it was one of those things that you learn the hard way. You know, unfortunately with me, because I come from the same experience, like being selfish. I mean, there was a lot of that. I went through several relationships in the past, and one lasted actually a long time. And I think it's because we didn't really spend a great deal of time, you know, on a daily basis. So every time we seen each other, it was like new each and every time. I don't know if that makes sense, but getting to my wife, this is one of those things that was an epiphany. Like, wow, I think she's finding out that she really cares about me, and I just never experienced that with girlfriends in the past. And she took a real interest, and it blew me away. First of all, because my background is the art, like visual arts, and it's just like, you know, you talk about aesthetics, and she had the right aesthetics, you know, which is really cool. And I just thought maybe like if we became friends, it'd be cool just to hang out with a person like that, you know, that I had.
with benefits or just partners?
Yeah, well, benefits. Yeah, I mean, I took whatever I can get. If it was platonic, then so be it. It was just cool to hang out with her. And then once I started to have this feeling like, man, I think she might be interested, but I never pursued it because I'll admit I was chicken shit and all that stuff.
You?
Yeah, hard to believe, right?
That's another term for
Chicken shit.
It evolved into that point where it's just like, wow, she likes me, you know, she likes me that way. And I was like, so I felt I was really lucky. And I don't know what, it just kind of evolved. It's just like, you know, she cared about me and I cared about her. And I think it just kind of evolved into that love. And growing up with my parents and my siblings, we never had that kind of upbringing where that, you know, the word love was, you know, verbalized. We just knew it, right? Blood, family, and love is there. You don't have to say it. That's kind of how I grew up. So I always had a problem saying that.
So your dad like told your mom, "I love you," like Fonzie. I love him. I love him.
I think he just did that lip thing, you know, that Navajo lip thing.
That's not Navajo. That's Washoe.
Yeah, I mean, it just evolved. It's just like, it was natural, I thought. And it's funny because my wife grew up that way with her family, like throwing that word love out. I love you. Good night, I love you kind of thing. And I just never grew up that way. So she would say it and I wouldn't. But she knew. And I can't pinpoint a certain thing where love happened. It just happened.
Does she really know? Does she really know?
That I love her?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we're not talking like, full on banging love. I mean, I'm talking about, does she know? Do you ever look in her eyes and say, baby, you the one. You're my boo. I'll do anything for you because I love you.
Yeah.
You know what? I was sitting here listening to you guys, and I was partially listening and partially trying to figure out what the hell happened to me in my relationship. And
This one now or prior?
Let's start prior.
Oh,
like,
man,
like, did you love the girlfriends the girls that you hooked up with?
No. I think it was I was shallow, right? Like I didn't give a damn what vibe I was putting out.
We're talking about now, or
I'm a changed man. No.
So you were selfish too?
Yeah. It was all about like going after the hottest one. Going after the dime. Doesn't matter if she's got a man or anything. It was just like, all right, that's the one I want. That's the one I'm gonna go get. And it was like a game. Like you were successful. Failed, whatever, and then I'd go after the dimes, and after you go through the dimes, there's nobody else.
The nickels?
You got then you got the buffalo nickels. Those are stay back. No. I mean, to me it was just like learning what worked and what didn't work. Because I was still young, so it was just I can't use the same line on every girl. So I would talk to them and just talking about their boring shit. Oh, you're such a great listener. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, it's Mac time. And but when I heard stories about them, and this was always from all the fellas around, were like, oh, that girl, you talking to her? Oh, me and my homies, we ran a train on her the other day. I was like, oh. And that's their story. I didn't give a shit about the girls, so I would just be like, yeah, this ain't working out. He would say, yeah, I'm just not feeling it. Let's just be friends. And I, of course, never talked to him again. But there's one girl. I remember she was really cute, right? And she was just really light skinned, and I just didn't like her. Like she wasn't like she was one of the nickels. I was just like, there's dimes that I gotta go after, and she really liked me, right? So she started talking to me, and she kept telling me like, yeah, I want to be your girl, I want to be your girl. And I was like, let's just get to know each other. I use that, like, let's just talk, let's just get to know each other first. Because I didn't want it, man. I was just like, because the thing was, she was native.
Was she native? Was she native?
She was so native. No, I mean, she was, and what ended up happening was I eventually started to like her. We started hanging out more and more, and she was just so cool. And then I heard a story about her, like when it was out of school, and I ended up telling her like, yeah, I don't want to do this no more because of my anxiety about being labeled as a sucker. I was just like, nah, I don't want to do this, and she would start crying, and we were going together for like 3 months, and I was just like, yeah, I was like, I'm cool. And she was like, well, why? Tell me why at least. And I told her, I was like, well, you know what, so-and-so said this. And she just broke down even harder. She's like, you don't even think to ask me. And then she walked away.
Dang, how could you?
I'm going to bounce back from this. I always do. And I didn't, actually.
You got heartbroken?
Yeah.
What?
And then, I don't know. Like, it was my first, because, like, I never got close enough to care like that. And then, yeah, that was, like, my first, like, serious little heartbreak where I was like, damn, I got denied, like, say, met your match. I didn't chase her down after that. I was just like, okay, I'm young. I got things to learn. This is gonna happen. Got to perfect the method. I mean, I was still hurting over it, and then found out she was pregnant, and it wasn't mine. I was like, wait, is this mine? She's like, no. I was like, what? So that was even worse, right? I was like, wait a minute, you telling me you're getting it and I'm not? So I was like, that's how jealous I was. I wasn't mad about the other guy. I was mad like, oh hell no, you know what? I'm going out to get me some right now.
Yeah, why? That's interesting, man. That's like the Fido mentality is like, we could give a shit about the girl who we just left in the dust if we're getting laid, but if she's getting laid and we're not, that's an issue. Then that's bullshit. That's just like,
not for us.
Oh hell no.
No respect for monogamy. What the hell, man?
There's none.
It died in the 80s along with Took a Spill. What I was getting into is my marriage. I like to think of it as, like, I just realized it now that when you see stories about, like, just imagine a wild stallion, right? It's a wild horse.
What, me now?
I didn't say pony, I said stallion. And you know, when they capture it, they go, it's called a break period, and they gotta break it. They gotta make it, you know, docile. They gotta make it some kind of something that you can live with. That's what I think happened with my marriage. I met her at a powwow, and you know, I really liked her. I thought she was beautiful, and I had this mentality that I'm always running. So I was moving away. I was going to Kansas, and she wanted to be in a relationship. I didn't want to do it because it was long distance, and I didn't believe in it. And she did the thing like your wife did, and she was like, you know what? I need to know if we're gonna be official because I got some people that are asking, and I don't know what to say. I was like, hold up, what? Yeah, she pulled that on me. I was like, are you serious? I was like, you're gonna try that move? And she's like, I just want to know. She's like, you don't want to go to school thinking that I'm trying to, you know, give you a yes or no answer. You would just want to know. And I was like, okay, all right. So I flipped the buffalo nickel, and I was like, all right, heads, I'm gonna give it a shot. Man, we've been together ever since, and it's been that mentality that I've been wanting to run ever since we got together. Anytime we got into an argument, I was like, this ain't working out. I gotta go.
I feel you there, brother.
And I was like, I'm done. You know, I love you. I'm glad that we got this all. We're going, but I gotta go. And she fought, man. She fought me back. She hit that horse right in the jaw. You know,
She hit your horse.
She saddled me. No. But it was just, you know, that's what it was. And she's a fighter, man. She's breaking me into living a good monogamous life. And, you know, one of those things, I didn't want to get married. But when we talked about marriage, I thought about if I was going to marry anybody, who would it be? She was the only one that I could think of.
But wait, I just want to say, man, you guys are rough.
I mean,
what?
Mike's rough.
You guys have some rough.
Saint.
Well, my wife puts me on the wheel like once a week.
But I'm talking like prior to marriage. Your experiences, man, it's just, I don't know, it's rough.
It's, well...
You encountered some harsh, strong women there, it sounds like.
Well, I mean, my wife always like says that my downfall was that I was the baby of the family, and that, you know, everything was, you know, was laid out for you, and you got to get away with a lot of other stuff and a lot of stuff. And I don't know, man. It's really kind of, I guess so, because you've been spoon-fed and, you know, groomed as just, you know, just having things done for you. So when you get into relationships and snags, you expect that. You expect that to be waited on. You expect things to be done for you. And a lot of times, you know, it was. You know, you didn't have to worry about nothing. If you wanted a pair of new gym shoes, boo, I'll get it for you. You know, it's there. If you needed money in your pocket, you know, I'm going to go kick it with the boys, you know, this weekend. You throw me a few yards, you know, it was there for you. And it was never like, well, what I always thought was it was free money. It was free money. Bad credit, no credit. I'll take you in. I'll take care of you. And it's like, okay, cool. You know, that's why, like, just a little side note, you know, when females come to me and my female friends, and we talk about their relationships, and they can describe to the T what these fools are doing with them, I could tell them exactly, when they tell me exactly what these fools say, I could tell them exactly the next step, because I was that dude. Now, if it was any other chick I didn't know, fine, get played, what have you. But if you're in my circle, hey, I got you back. What's like one thing that your wife does that like is just it's her one thing? What's her one characteristic that does it for you? Like it makes you laugh, or it
was her laugh, like her real laugh.
Yeah, she does a great laugh.
She did that chuckle. She does a chuckle, which is like, eh. And we were watching this movie, and it was like 10 at night. My mom's upstairs sleeping, ready to, you know, she has to go to work the next day, and her laugh just filled up the house, man. I was sitting there like, and so I had to get used to it, man. I had to get used to it. Now I love it. When I hear it, it's just, I know it's her. I know she's happy. I know she's having a good time, because it's like one of those things that she just does, and she doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who. If it's a new crowd of people, she'll laugh, and she's not ashamed of it. And that's kind of something that I know. That's my wife.
One of the things about my wife that I liked using specific words, you know, to describe, or even to just have a instead of saying hello, you know, it's usually an expletive, you know, involved. Like she'll drop the F-bomb.
You gotta do the voice. You gotta do the voice.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, growing up.
You said no sex moves, Dave. The F-bomb cannot be used.
In my family household, because of my wife, you know, the common word might be the F-bomb. So, you know, kind of graduated, and you know, our poor son.
Balls.
Our poor son, you know, he hears that, and he grew up with it. And it's funny because the first time I heard him say it, I was just like, what the hell?
So real quick, here's a question for you. You're talking about art and aesthetics, right? So is that to say that your wife has fashioned profanity into an art form?
Yes.
She does, man. I will say, I love your wife, man, because she holds nothing back. It's like,
She doesn't.
it's like, hey, how you doing today? How was your day?
F you.
Fuck you, fucking asshole. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's how you know that you're. Because when I first met your wife, man, like she looked pissed. And here you are, you're like, you're like the Choctaw Santa Claus. You're just like, oh, hey y'all, hey, and then here's like, oh, then Duck's like, this is my wife. Yeah. Honey, introduce yourself. She's like, fucking asshole. I was like, okay.
No, when I was a kid, I said, the F-bomb, S-word, C-word.
Why don't you just say it, man? We just say it. This is Real Talk Junkies.
It has to come natural. I can't just say it. Anyway,
He's not used to coming natural. So,
when you're mad at like credit card companies, you're like, you C-word. What about your wife?
my wife, I think honestly, my wife's trademark, her smile.
Yeah.
She always has that Mona Lisa smile, like a little hint in the corners of the mouth that like, it just I always look forward to it. Even when she's mad, I don't look forward to when she's mad, but when she's mad, she still has that little David Berkowitz, Son of Sam look, and it's just like, okay, I love you. It's always been that. When I first met her, she was smiling. One of the greatest smiles I ever got that was like a real kick in the nuts was when we got in our first like real huge almost marriage ending argument, and I said, why don't you get out the fucking house? She looks at me with that smile and says, you can't afford to live here. So right then and there it was like, all right, I need to rethink this thing. So, but it's her smile. She doesn't, like she says, I'm never gonna be this 1950s housewife. That shit is dead. She kind of through that, she taught me like not to be dependent on what society deems as, what your wife's supposed to do. So mine's her smile. So what in all our marriages, like what's more important? Is it like family, children, money, or strip clubs? Go.
I know for sure it's family. Like that's one thing I can never, and I will never put myself between her and her family. I mean, her family's just so strong and well put together, and brownie points. So yeah, family for us for sure. That's the solid.
Family is very vital in this, at least in our circle.
I think I think that's the commonality between the three of us. Is family, and not just because not because we're native.
We are so native.
We're so native. All right, everybody out there. This has been Real Talk Junkies. I'm St. Mike,
J-Man,
Ducky,
and we'll see you all next episode. Until then, keep your shit real. Holla beans.